Hi, hello, this is Soleil Rising. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to make this video. This is literally one of my favorite topics in astrology. I love watching where is the placement of your future spouse, your soulmate in your natal chart, and I always love checking other people's natal charts and seeing where did they meet their spouse, their like long-term relationship partner, their soulmate, and what kind of characteristic they have. And then I would go and check their partner's chart and see that like the personality and the locations are kind of matching. So I think this method is kind of on point and it can work for majority of people who know their rising signs. And we're going to start. I'm going to tell you where you can meet and what kind of circumstances and what kind of personality the person can have. But just make sure that this is not your second husband, because this video is mostly for the first husband or the first like long-term relationship partner, boyfriend or girlfriend, or yes. So the way it is going to go is, first you're gonna see if you like me and like subscribe to my channel, because it's going to like mean a lot to me, because your support is really helping me to kind of, you know, get motivation to make these videos. Second of all, you can share this video with your partner or your friends. And third, just take some notes, open your natal chart, turn on your Wi-Fi and see how it goes. So what we're going to need, first of all, you need to know the time of your birth or the person whose soulmate you're checking, because you need to know the rising sign. You need to have natal chart. This is how you can check your natal chart. You just go to horoscope. This is my favorite, horoscopes.astrosic.com. Calculate birth chart. You go there. So okay, let's say this is my birthday. My time of birth is 7 a.m. let's say. I'm not sure what is my time of birth, but I can expect either I'm Leo rising or Capricorn rising. So this is the natal chart, as you can see. So that's what you're going to need. This is the first house. This is the first house, but you're going to need your seventh house right here. So my seventh house starts with Cancer. This is going to be important to know for this whole video. So let's go. And the next thing we're going to do is basically, it's going to be because I'm going to explain everything right away. So after you know the time of your birth or the person whose birth chart you're checking, you will check the seventh house, the descendant, the cusp, where it starts. That's your partner. So the first house, the rising, is like you, your physical appearance, your basically your identity. And then the seventh house is your partner. It actually tells a lot like about what kind of personality or characteristic your partner should have, so that you have like the best compatibility. And then when you check your seventh house, you should check the ruler of the seventh house. So here's an example of supposedly my chart. Let's imagine that I'm Capricorn rising and my moon, I'm sorry, I'm Capricorn rising and my seventh house, my descendant, is in Cancer. And the ruler of Cancer is la moon, or la lune, the moon. So now you need to check where is the seventh house ruler located, in which house. So this video is for people who already know, but I can show. So basically, if you can see in the chart, the ruler of my seventh house is Cancer, and the ruler of Cancer is Moon. And Moon is located in the second house. Yay! So that would mean that I'm going to meet the person in second house circumstances. And we're going to start now with the seventh house ruler being in the first house. So first house is you. So logically, it will mean, and it actually means that your partner is going to be someone like you, or they can even literally look like you. You will resemble each other, like physically, your appearance, your interests, your values, your beliefs, your hobbies, your interests. So you will meet this person in a place where you feel the most comfortable. Let's say if you are a writer and okay, if you're a blogger or a musician, you will meet the person close by. It's not at work, but it's the place where you kind of spend most of your time being yourself. And so the thing is, the first house is always like first. So it's all about initiation. And it means that you will be the person who will start the conversation, or you will be the initiator of this relationship. Okay, moving on to second house. So if the ruler of your seventh house is in the second house, that means you will probably meet the person in trading places, like at the mall where you are buying something, or also you can meet the person at the bank, because second house is all about money and materialistic stuff. Maybe at the jewelry store, maybe the person is working at the bank. Also you can meet the person at the restaurant, but it's like luxurious restaurant, or somewhere where you will be eating and you will meet them there. And it also shows what kind of person they are. So these people love good food, aesthetics, everything that is like very eye-pleasing. They love actually talking. They're like, if they start talking, they talk a lot. These people probably have their own restaurant, or they have their own business, because these people really value what they like. And also, these people will be kind of rich, so they will always have money to support you and themselves, of course. You, again, you might meet them at like beauty spa, or somewhere where you kind of relax, but related to your beauty, shopping, restaurant. Yeah, so this person might be like selling things. So they could be a consultant, but I would say they could sell something to you, and you might be there like, oh, I like you. Let's date. Okay, moving on to third house. Okay, this is the best house because there are so many chances, like so many different circumstances you can meet the person. If the ruler of the seventh house is in the third house, that means the person himself or herself are very communicative. They have big networking, they have so many friends, or they might have a lot of siblings, or their siblings are very important in their lives. Okay, now where you can meet them, like literally you can meet them anywhere where you visit often, like locally, maybe at the grocery store, it's possible. You can meet them at the library, you can meet them through social media, because like you'll be chatting a lot. Maybe first you will like meet in a like in a place where you are learning something, you're learning new skills. It could be middle school, high school, some kind of language courses, or some kind of skill improving educational place where you can meet the person, and then the next stage will be like you'll be chatting a lot, talking a lot, because these people, they also love talking. They know everything, so like the topics will be like limitless. Okay, also there's a possibility that your sibling or their sibling will try to connect you with each other. Also, these people could be journalists. They love traveling. Also, you can meet them in short distance traveling, where you're traveling somewhere. You can meet them in the transportation. Let's say you're taking a bus, an Uber, a taxi, or an airplane. Like, if you are having some kind of business trip, you can meet them. Short distance traveling, like maybe even a hitchhiker. Yeah, that's also a possibility. These people are from your inner circle. Again, like, firstly, you will be kind of friends, and then it will like progress. They could also be your neighbors. Yeah, it's like there's so many possibilities, but these are all coming from, very comforting and very, how to call it, like familiar. Like the vibe is going to be familiar place, familiar faces and people. So yeah, again, the person is going to be very like talkative. Maybe they will, if they ask you out on a date, it's going to be in the car, at the beach. Like they will ride a car, and then you will walk somewhere, because yeah, these people love talking a lot, so they will be like looking for places where you can peacefully talk to each other, not like in a club or at the movie theater. Okay, moving on to fourth house. If the ruler of your seventh house is in the fourth house, oh wow, so this one is related to your family. Maybe your parents will invite them to your house, or you can meet them in your hometown. Let's say you're moving, or let's say you're living abroad and then you're moving to your hometown or your home country, you can meet them there. Or your family members who will invite them for a dinner or for something. Or it can literally mean you're buying a house and the person is a real estate agent. There is a possibility. And these people will be very caring, very romantic. They probably have good relationship with their mother. Maybe they're very close to their mother. They're very private as well, not secretive but private. Or maybe you can meet them in some kind of private circumstances. What else? Yeah. And I think they're the most like stable when it comes to like relationships. They will be very romantic. They might write songs for you. They might ask you on like very romantic, cute dates. Okay, so moving on to fifth house. If the ruler of the seventh house is in the fifth house, I think this is the most fun place. And that means you will meet the person in like fun circumstances. It doesn't mean like you will be laughing place, like comedy place. It literally means the place where you feel happy and creative. So it can like vary from movie theaters, musical concerts, gym. If you have kids, you might meet this person in kindergarten, or you are working in kindergarten and the person is somebody else's, the kid's father. There's a possibility that they already have kids or they want a lot of kids. And you can also meet these people in like clubs, bars, the places where you kind of get entertainment. But it can literally also mean like music club, like your hobby club, the place where you kind of investigate your own interests. Like if you have a hobby of like dancing, maybe you will meet them at the dance studio. Or if you're a musician, you will meet them at concert or at like practices. It can also mean restaurants. So they will be like, if you meet them, they will immediately attract your attention because they will be looking all sexy and all like attractive and very fancy. And their personality is also going to be like that. They might be very bossy or very like, lavish and fancy, looking good and very fun. You can also meet them at the theme park, like places where you play sports. They're going to be very creative, because you are probably or also creative. That's why you will be attracted to them. Okay, moving on to 6th house. So if your 7th house ruler is in the 6th house, this one's kind of very specific. You might meet the person at the hospital. They might be vets, or your pets will connect you. Maybe you were like walking with your dog outside, and then all of a sudden you're like meeting someone outside, maybe because your dog started running, and then the person like catch, like, I don't know, I'm just coming up with stuff. Like, my imagination is like, ooh, amazing. These people are workaholics. They really care about their health, so they might be having good diet, and you also might meet them in gym, or they can be like gym instructor, or health trainee, dietitian. Also, if you have a business, they might be your employees, or you might meet them at work setting, like you're working somewhere and they're working with you. That's how you meet. They could be like, you could also meet them in beauty salon or like spa, because they could be a barber or a hairstylist. They could be consultants, because they work in places where they provide their services. Again, they could be dentists, so anything related to like hospitals, doctors, your employees, caretaker. Also, you might meet them at the zoo, or they're working at a zoo, or maybe they own a zoo. You never know. And these people really love pets or nature. Like, they might have their own garden, and they are really hard workers, and you might like them because you might have same interests in lifestyle or pets. Okay, moving on to 7th house. So if the 7th house ruler is in the 7th house, that could mean that you can get married early. It is a possibility. Or you could meet a person who has already had partnership, family, and they're like divorced, and now you can meet them. Or they have had partners. That's kind of sad, but yeah. Okay, where you can meet them. Okay, another thing is that they could be your business partners. There's a possibility, sometimes you can fall in love with your friends, you can fall in love with your business partners, or someone with whom you have some kind of contracts. They could be your clients. They could be your clients if you have a business or you are selling something. They could be your clients. That's how you can like meet and like start communicating. Or they could be your enemy. Like, some people fall in love with their friends. Like, friend connection grows into love connection, and there might be like there's some kind of enemy, and they're like, oh, I hate them, and then they're like, oh my god, now I love them. There's a possibility. So in contrast with 1st house, if the 7th house ruler is in the 7th house, that means the initiator will be them. So they will start all this relationship, I would say. And these people could be consultants. They could be working as a lawyer, or they could have their own agency. And they are so romantic. They will be so romantic. I think the 7th house location is the most romantic sign, so expect to have like really beautiful dates, romantic, yummy food, beautiful partner, or maybe you will start looking really good for them. I don't know, some people do that, but I like this placement. Okay, moving on to 8th house. So if the ruler of the 7th house is in 8th house. Okay, this one is a bit mysterious and unpredictable. Just like it sounds, the person is also going to be mysterious and unpredictable. You might be like looking at them and not understanding anything. So you might meet them suddenly. You are not expecting it, and you can meet them. They could be a military, from military. They could be policemen. They could work in like with criminals. They could be criminals. But yeah, so they could be lawyers, or they could be surgeons. They might be like working in like, they could do investigations, or they might be interested in true crime, like conspiracy theories, astrology, spirituality. Also, you could meet them at the bank, or anything related to money. Maybe you meet them in some kind of conference, or somewhere where people are discussing crypto, the virtual money. They could be investors. Maybe, let's say you're like having your own business, or you're applying to get a loan, or you're applying for some kind of competition where there are investors. They could be investors. These partners can also be rich. They are very mysterious. They're also like very attractive. They're kind of sexy. So there you go. And moving on to ninth house. If the seventh house ruler is in the ninth house, oh my god, this one is the most, I would say, challenging, because usually ninth house is all about foreigners abroad, higher education. I know some people who are like so lazy to go to university where they can actually meet their lovers, or they are not working enough, or they're not saving enough money to travel abroad, because that's where you can meet the partner. These are one of the options. So you can meet them abroad, like traveling abroad to different country, or you might be taking courses in university. They could be your professors, they could be your teachers. That's cool. Or you can attend like same school, take same courses together. These people are highly knowledgeable. They know a lot. They're very spiritual. If they could be religious, so you can meet them in church. Oh, okay, forget about it. If you were watching eighth house as well, you could meet eighth house location in funeral, but like ninth house location, you can meet them at church. Or if they're not religious, they are probably open to all religions. They're very open to your beliefs, your values, and they will try to learn more about it. They could be lawyers as well. You can also meet them in some kind of scientific conference, symposium. They could be foreigners, I already said that. And now let's move on to 10th house. So 10th, like if the ruler of the 7th house is in the 10th house, these people are either very famous, or they have really good reputation, or they could be your boss. You could meet them at work. They could be your manager. They could be like, at higher like letters in career. You could be their employees. They could be also politicians, or they have this kind of like great networking, very strong networking, that people know them for something specific. They could be very famous in their own field and have really good reputation. They could be business owners as well. And these people, of course, are going to be a bit serious, a bit like they might look strict, they might look unapproachable, but I guess if it is in your location, if it's in your 10th house, the ruler, that means these are your people. That means you are attracted to this kind of people, and those people are also attracted to you. All right, so moving on to 11th house. So if the seventh house ruler is in 11th house, these people have a lot of friends. or they have a lot of interests, and they could be your friends. Or you could meet them online through social media, through Facebook, through Tinder. Is it Tinder? Like social dating apps. You could meet them through that. You could meet them through some kind of conferences, through social movements. Like if you have attended Greenpeace movement or any kind of movement, you could meet them there. They're very they're activists, okay? You could meet them in some kind of activity. You can also meet them in place where you share your, not your hobby, but your interest. Maybe you're interested in some kind of history club, or I don't know, some kind of like cultural club, and you can meet them there. They could be bloggers, they could be vloggers, maybe they're YouTubers and you are watching them and commenting. That's how you can meet. Yeah. Also, there is a possibility that your friends will connect you, or you will meet them in some kind of friends party, or a friend will introduce you to them. Right. All right, moving on to 12th house. So if the 7th house ruler is in a 12th house, that means you will probably meet the person abroad or in some kind of relaxation place. Like if you are taking a boat, like traveling in ocean in a boat. What, cruise? Is it cruise in English? I forgot the word. So if you're traveling somewhere, you can meet them not at the airplane, but more likely in some kind of resort. So you're traveling somewhere exotic and you're staying in some kind of hotel, and then you can meet them there. Also, you could meet them in like some kind of therapy session. Maybe together you're taking some kind of therapy lessons, or like sharing your problems together. Like that's how you can learn more about each other. You could also meet them at the backstage. Yeah, so like let's say you're at the concert and then you meet someone at the backstage. That's very specific. I don't know why I came up with it, but there is a possibility because these people are highly creative. They could be musicians, they could be producers, they could be people who write things for movies, for books, because their imagination is just crazy. That's how you can meet them. Also, there is a possibility like you can meet them during lockdown. Yeah, like let's say there was a quarantine and then you're attending some kind of online lecture somewhere, like about something spiritual, and then maybe they could be the teacher, or you could be taking the course with them together. And they could be creators, as I said, like maybe they have their own blog. You know, there are like some YouTubers or bloggers who never show their face, but you can hear them or you can see what they have created. These are those kind of people. You can also meet them at the hospital where you're resting. They could be doctors, they could be surgeons, they could be therapists, they could be psychologists, psychiatrists, I already said therapist, um, or they could be like astrologers or teaching astrology. That could be me. There's a possibility. I match with all of that. Like, maybe these people in the past have had some kind of mental struggles that they kind of battled, and they're coming out stronger, and you can connect with them. Maybe maybe you also had some kind of mental struggles or trauma, and that's how you can bond with each other. And again, like these people are very creative. So if when you meet and you kind of start dating, they will be super romantic. They might bring you flowers, they might write songs about you, they will give you just all those, like, butterfly moments. Yeah. So this is it for this video. I hope you can subscribe so that you can get notifications for new videos, upcoming new love videos I am planning to make today. And this is February, so I decided to make this kind of like love videos, but mostly I do monthly predictions. So if you're interested, please make sure to subscribe. It really helps me a lot. And this was Soleil. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye. And I wish you all the best with meeting your love. Bye.